Hey everyone, welcome back to the Festival Mill. Got a little bit of a bumper video for you today. We are going to be going through what to expect at Reading and Leeds Festival 2023. Of course, this is suited towards people that have never been to a festival before or never been to Reading and Leeds Festival before. But if a few of you who have been one or two times want some more tips for this year's festival, then this is the place to be. Just before we start this video, I just want to say thank you to Reading and Leeds. Today we actually had an amazing opportunity to announce the next part of the lineup. Could never imagine we would be doing that 2 years on from making the page. So we announced the late night Leeds DJ set, we announced the alternative stage. Yeah, it was really cool and went down really well, so thank you guys, and make sure you follow our pages for future exclusives because I have a feeling there's going to be more of them. So let's jump straight into the video, and our first thing to do is talk about the Wednesday for you early birds. I would definitely suggest getting the early bird ticket. You make sure you get a good place to camp, and really it's just a nice environment. You get there, everyone's excited for the festival, and you start your weekend a little bit earlier, so I'd always suggest to get there on the Wednesday. So today we'll be speaking mainly about Reading Festival. That's due to that's my experience at Reading Festival, and hopefully there'll be some comments down below and give you some tips on Leeds Festival. So first things first, the Reading and Leeds website will say that the gates open at 6 o'clock. They always open earlier because of the queue, so make sure you get yourself down there. I would say around midday. We used to set off in the morning, but it's completely up to you really. But all I would say is make sure you get down there definitely earlier than 6 so you can get your spot. So before you get through that gate, there can be a long old queue while you're waiting for those gates to open, so be prepared. It took us about 5 hours once to get through. I think it was White Gate. And yeah, so take some fluids, take some beers, take your camping chair, but definitely take some water because we were there and we were struggling. But of course you don't want to over drink because otherwise you go to the toilet, that sort of thing, and it can just be a queue. So just be prepared for that. Some gates like green go through a lot smoother, but it all depends on your luck. So yeah, just be prepared because it can be a long queue and it takes a little while to get through the gate, and then you get through your gate and you still got the walk. So yeah, just be prepared for that. Of course, once you get through, then you can stamp, get your wristband, and then you can start to make the walk. So if you're driving, make sure when you take that walk that you take multiple trips. What we did is we took our little buggy, we had some essentials in it, we had a couple of beers, we had camping chairs, a tent, and just things like that. Basically it just makes it a little bit nicer. The first year when I went, when I was 18, with all my mates, all of us got on these two-wheeler trolleys. Don't get two-wheeler trolleys. We all got on these two-wheeler trolleys. Things were falling everywhere. It's horrible. Your hands are burning because you're trying to get through. Yeah, take multiple trips, absolutely. Just go, take your essentials, get your tent up, find your spot, go back to the car, because you'd much rather do the walk when it's way less busy at like 7, 8 o'clock. That's what we do. And of course, you're going to be spending that Wednesday doing bits and bobs, and why not do that, get all your stuff, and then you're going to be a lot happier. Of course, the temperature makes a difference as well. When you're doing it at 7 or 8 o'clock, it's going to be a lot cooler too. It can be really hot at Reading and Leeds, especially Reading. Leeds will probably rain, but in Reading it'll be really, really hot, and hopefully. And that's exactly what happened when we got in that queue. I got sunburn, and yeah, just be prepared for it being hot on that day. And when you're finding your spot, I mean, there's so many videos around of where to camp. We might try and do a full in-depth chat maybe with Jack Webb this year about where to camp, but I'd probably suggest green if you can get in it, because it's not as hectic as orange, and probably not as hectic as purple either, but you're in a good spot. You're 10 minutes away from the arena, and it's a nice place to camp. But to be honest, we camped in Brown the first year because of how knackered we were. Still a fun environment. Key to go by, further away from the arena is quieter, closer is busier, and fills up quicker. So make your choice. If you're really, really after that party all weekend, then make sure you get into those busy spots because it's a lot more probably entertaining, a lot more going on, and there's more stalls like inside the area. Like green has all the food and stuff in it, and it's really nice to be fair. And last year we actually saw a little bit of Red also has some vendors and stuff like that, and that's a place that I've never camped before. So yeah, you're going to find somewhere good. Another thing to do is get your over 18 wristband. The benefit of that, it means you don't have to show your ID every time you go up to the bar. And that's a good thing to do on a Wednesday to kill some time. But overall, you're going to be knackered on that Wednesday. You've just been queuing, you've been taking all your stuff, so just chill, enjoy it, get yourself some good food, and as I say, get your wristband, have a little walk around your area, and get ready for the Thursday. So now we go on to the Thursday. The Thursday can be really fun. In Leeds, I must admit, they have a lot more to do. There's a huge late night Leeds on a Thursday, the LS23 stage opens, that sort of thing. But if you're at Reading, it can still be really fun. So at Reading and Leeds, you're going to have the whole day to explore before the entertainment starts in the evening. So use that time to familiarise yourself with your surroundings and just go around, get a feel for yourself. You're going to be there for 5 days, so you want to explore it like a little town, and there's so much to see. It's a great opportunity to have a drink, and then you can make friends with people around you and speak to the people who are camping next to you, because everyone's there for the same reason. And it's a really just nice day to just sort of explore and come up as well with who you want to see the weekend. There's nothing better than having like a little bit of an agenda, and if you haven't done it before you go, it's a perfect day to do it. You can decide with your friends who you want to see and when, and there's nothing better at Reading Leeds to come up with a plan, because there's so many artists for you to see. I believe the app is already live as well, so make sure you download that in the description down below, and that way you can plan it with the scheduler tool. But as mentioned earlier, the evening is where it comes to life a little bit. They open the arena at about 4 or 5 o'clock, and of course at Reading there's a silent disco which normally gets cancelled because there's too many people trying to get in it. But Leeds obviously has all their late night entertainment, and I've heard it's really, really good fun. So yeah, there's a lot to do in the evening, and of course you can go in the arena, get some food, go on the roller coasters, just have a wander around, because it almost opens up a bit more of a party on the Thursday night, and it's good fun. So yeah, just use that time to explore. It sets you up perfectly for the weekend. Right, so now we go on to the Friday, and it's your first day of music. The arena opens at 12 o'clock, and I wouldn't say necessarily to go straight in. There's a lot of queues at 12 o'clock on that day, on every day actually. So unless there's an act you really want to see straight off the bat, I wouldn't necessarily go in straight away. I'd maybe wait until a little bit later, only an hour later or so, and it'll calm right down. Obviously, if there is an act you want to see at 12 o'clock, for example at Reading, there's sometimes a special guest and they open the main stage, but this year it doesn't seem to be. There's one on the poster. Last year was Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, the year before was Nothing But Thieves, so unless there is someone you want to see, go in a little bit later. And what I would say as well, if you really don't have anyone you want to see until about 3-4 o'clock, just chill on the camp. It means you can drink your own drink, you can eat your own food, and you can just save a little bit of money before going into the arena. You're about to spend a lot of money in that arena on the bars and all the food vendors, so if you can save yourself a bit, and if that's something you'd want to do, then that's something to expect. Also, one thing to note, this actually probably goes for all days, but don't stress yourself out if you miss an act. If there's an act you wanted to see and the tent's really busy, it's not a big deal, because we did the same last year with a couple of acts. It was just so busy and we missed them, and it's annoying, but there's plenty of opportunities. Last year we missed Bakar in the tent. This year he's on the main stage. We're going to be able to see Bakar, so don't worry too much. It can be annoying at the time, but just move on to your next, because there's so many. And of course, what I would say as well, go into different tents and whatever, because you'll explore someone new. If there's no one on, you want to be in the arena, you want to listen to some live music, that's the point of a festival. You can find people who you don't really expect. So that's kind of what to expect on each day, on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. A couple of things specific for Sunday though, is that it does get a little bit crazy. In the camps there can be people who are throwing things, objects. They just do a little bit of a, I don't really know why people do it. It's almost become a bit of a tradition now, but it's not as bad as you see online. You think you're going to be set on fire. You think everything around you is going to be set on fire. It's really not that bad. We were worried a little bit. Some people are idiots, but you know, we went to bed, woke up, it's dead quiet. Like, it just, realistically, you just have to look out for it. You have to be aware, know the people that are around you, and just don't join in, and really just wait it out, because sometimes people will throw things, it will last for a couple of minutes, and then it will all stop. So yeah, just be careful and you'll be absolutely fine. Now we're going to go into a little bit of things to expect just across the whole weekend, not specific to any days. And first of all, we're going to be talking about toilets. So one thing to expect is that the toilets are not nice. It's very easy to think, oh, they'll be fine. They are not nice. They're really not. So the ones around the camp specifically are really not nice. They get cleaned, they get sorted, they get hosed down, but they very quickly get back up to not very nice. But the arena toilets are really nice. I wouldn't say really nice, but I'd say are nicer. In the arena, there are like porta cabins which have flushing toilets and sinks, and yeah, they're just a lot better. And for whatever reason, they're just cleaner. It's probably because people aren't using them all the time. It's just the odd people who just run into the toilet and running back. So yeah, go in the arena. And one thing I would say, if you get a little bit nervous about going into the cubicles, for example, if you're with your girlfriend like I am with Lottie, sometimes just take someone with you and they can check a toilet and they're like, yeah, that's fine, then you can go in. because some people just don't really like looking at it. Speaking of Lotta, you're actually going to be seeing her a little bit more. She's going to be helping out with the channel a bit and getting involved with our festival vlogs specifically. She's usually behind the camera, and in fact you'll actually see her in the upcoming truck vlogs, so look out for that. Right, so our next what to expect is that it does get colder at night. It's very easy at 4 o'clock when the sun's shining to think, oh, this is lovely, but when you're walking back after the headliner, that finishes normally about 10:30, it is blimmin' freezing. You're not going back to a hotel where some of you might be, but you're going to go back to a cold tent. So be prepared at about 5 o'clock, maybe just before the sub-headliners or a sub-headline you're not bothered about. Nip back to your tent, get a jumper or a coat or just a jacket or something, tie it around you and then come back. So just talk a little bit about the food and drink. For example, the bars, the queues can look really, really daunting because they're huge, or they can be huge, or they can be quiet, but normally they're quite big. But they go really, really quickly. If you think there's a big long line of people serving you and then people just handing them drinks to hand away. So just get in the queue if you want to get yourself a drink, it will go quickly. The food, well, and the drink actually, food and drink is expensive, so just be prepared for that. You're not going to get like corner shop prices, you're going to get London prices or something like that. You know, you're going to be paying 10, 12, 14 pounds normally for a meal. You're paying 6, 7 quid for a drink. So just be prepared for that. 2 quid for water, that sort of thing. But yeah, generally it's good. There'll be places, don't get me wrong, there will be places that are less than that, and there'll be places that are more than that. So just keep an eye out and just be wary and set a budget. But at the end of the day, you're only there for a few days, and that's how I normally see it. You can get some nice food, you can enjoy some actually good food spots. Some places are really cool, like street food. You know, if you can afford it, just enjoy it and just don't even think about it, because that's probably your best way of doing it. Speaking of drinking, one thing I would say actually is just pace yourself. These days can be really, really long when you crack open a tin at 9 AM and then you're going until 9 PM. And of course the weather, especially in Reading, is going to be probably hot. August bank holiday weekend is always hot, especially in Reading, so of course that plays into that. One thing that is worth considering in the heat as well is that it can get really dusty. Ruben wants to bring a bandana or buy one when you're there, because if it is hot all weekend, by the Sunday dust is kicking up and it can get really bad, so just be wary of that. And that will lead to, you know, all like your nose being black and stuff like that. It's all just from the dust, so you don't quite realise it until it happens. I think finally, before you go, just really go through everything and make sure, you know, it's very easy to overpack and expect to overpack. So if you can kind of cancel that out before you go and just say, right, do I need 10 cereal bars now? I'll take 5, that sort of thing. Because it is very easy to do and you'll still be going back with a load of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what to expect if you've never been to a festival before, and hopefully you picked up some tips if you have been before. If there's anything else, honestly, then put it down in the comments down below, because you never know whose life you're going to save. So yeah, that's why we try and do this channel. We try and help you guys out, and hopefully this one helped. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name's been Adam, and I'll see you later on.